Hey guys, so I tried Medicube's digital AR device Booster H. So let's talk about it. I also tried their collagen jelly along with this device. What exactly is going on with this device? I have seen it everywhere. I mean, it's all over TikTok. You guys have been asking about it because you've been seeing the ads nonstop. I mean, they must have a huge advertising budget because I cannot escape this thing. Hailey Bieber allegedly uses it. So what's the deal? Well, it's a device that is intended to be used to enhance the penetration of your skincare products. So in theory, you get better results from them. You get more hydrated, glowy, smooth, glass skin. And how it works, or how it claims to work, is through something called electroporation. Now, raise your hand in the comments if you've ever worked in a lab. You know exactly the deal with electroporation. It's basically a high voltage that creates little pores in lipid membranes, whether it be cells, bacteria, or a big structure like the waxy stratum corneum. These little holes are temporary, but it allows you to get stuff in. So in labs and stuff, we use a technique of electroporation of like bacteria to get them to take up DNA and stuff so that we can make them express genes we want them to. That's a very rudimentary explanation, but the idea here is that it will enhance penetration of the stuff that you're putting on your skin, which, we've talked about this before, but the thing about your skin and why it is such a vital structure is it keeps stuff from penetrating into your body, into your bloodstream. It's a barrier. That's what it's designed to do, keep stuff out. And that's great. When that fails, problems arise. If you have a weakened skin barrier, your skin's more vulnerable to irritation and skin infections. But when we want to treat the skin, either for cosmetic reasons or to deliver medications to treat skin conditions, we have to engineer ways to get ingredients, medications across that waxy barrier. Some ingredients are easier to get in than others. Some ingredients require these very sophisticated delivery systems, liposomal structures. There are a variety of different ways to enhance penetration. Certain ingredients in your skincare can allow for better absorption of other skincare ingredients. For example, hyaluronic acid helps enhance penetration of ingredients. Using an exfoliant allows for better penetration. Using retinol long-term can allow for better penetration of other things because these ingredients, they exfoliate. Retinol will help improve the smoothness of the top layer, ultimately allowing better penetration. Then you have things like microneedling. You have various devices in office that can enhance penetration. So there are a lot of approaches, but this device uses electroporation. So instead of poking holes with something sharp like microneedling, it's basically just creating these little pores temporarily so that the product can sink into the skin in theory. There are studies looking at electroporation for transdermal drug delivery, and it is promising, but it's not quite a widely utilized approach. So the Medicube device is going to deliver, in theory, high voltage pulses that create that temporary enhancement of penetration of ingredients that may be on the skin. It has 5 different settings. So first of all, you charge up the device with the USB, you press the button, and it has this loud voice that says level 1. Level 1. You can press the button again to go up. It can go up as high as level 5. The way that it's used is that after you wash your face, you apply your skincare products, and then you basically run this device over your skin, and in theory, the products on your skin are going to have better penetration. There are a few techniques that you can use. You can just move it forward, or you can do like a circular motion, or you can just hold it in one spot for a few moments. In theory, that allows for spot-focused enhanced penetration. And after you use it, you just wipe off the head with like a towel to remove any product residue. Now, they do warn that if you are using retinoid, that you don't want to apply your retinoid and then use this, because the enhanced penetration may be too irritating with a retinoid or a retinol or a retinaldehyde. Even at the lowest setting, it can be a little uncomfortable. As I took it over certain landmarks on the face, I don't know if it was just kind of stimulating a nerve or whatever, but you could get a little bit of muscle spasming. And I don't know if you guys can see it here, but you can see how my under eye is twitching when I have it over by my cheek. Then when I use this on my forehead, I really felt some interesting sensations. Almost felt like my hair is being pulled. Somebody was pulling my hair from underneath my scalp. It was kind of a bizarre sensation. If you've ever used the NuFace device, you know how it can kind of feel a little tingly. That's the feeling that I got with this. Little kind of tingles, not painful, but an unusual feeling. You definitely feel it. And if it goes over certain landmarks on your face, it can cause, in my experience, some twitching of neighboring muscle groups. With regards to the different levels, they specify don't go higher than, I think, level 1, the lowest setting, around delicate areas like your eye, around your nose, and around your mouth. Now, not only did I try it on my face, but I also tried it on my upper thighs because I thought, why not? And I'll talk about the jelly in a moment, but I used the jelly on my face with this and on my thighs just to give it a try. And I still, you know, the skin on the thighs is a lot thicker. I still felt that pulling, tingling sensation at all of the settings. Speaking of the NuFace, if you'll recall back from my video reviewing the NuFace, I always experienced with that a temporary kind of lifted, tightening effect with the NuFace that, you know, a few later on throughout the day kind of fades. I kind of got the same thing with this. Did it work for me in terms of getting better penetration of the moisturizers, the ingredients? It's hard to say. I really did not see much of a difference between using this and not using it. I didn't experience any irritation, redness, discomfort with it, aside from that odd sensation while using it, but I really didn't experience any unusual side effects of irritation, peeling, or dryness. I don't use it every single day, but I have used it numerous times, we'll say, and I've never really gotten any sort of a noticeable, wow, my skin is like super hydrated and plump now in comparison to just using the moisturizer. What products have I used it with? Well, I'll tell you about the jelly in a moment. I've used it with the Cetaphil Healthy Renew Face Serum that I use in the morning. I've used it with the Neutrogena Hydro Boost Water Cream. I always move it forward. I've tried the little hold it on a spot for a few minutes, but I didn't notice that that made any difference, nor did I really notice a huge difference with the circular motion. The device is pretty lightweight and easy to maneuver. It tells you when a minute has passed, and I think it goes up to 10 minutes maximum. But one thing I find kind of annoying is that it's hard to go back and forth between the different levels. You can go up, but you can't go back down, which is sort of annoying. You know, if you find that the setting that you're at is too high, well, then you have to take it off your skin and go all the way back to a lower setting. You can't go down. They have other devices, but I don't know if the other devices will go up and down or just go up like this one. But it is pretty easy to use. It's kind of laborious because the head is so small. While the device is pretty easy to use, I'm not convinced that it's doing anything. I haven't seen a huge difference in my skin, and I do have some reservations about it and reasons why I'm not so sure you should jump on the bandwagon without thinking a little bit more about if it's going to be right for you. First of all, let me go over what they say in terms of who should not use this. Anyone whose skin is red and tingling due to excessive tanning. So I would build upon that and say if you have had any sunburn or anything, you don't want to use this because the skin is so much more vulnerable. Then you're going to go enhancing penetration in theory with this electroporation device. Number 2, anyone whose skin is especially sensitive due to allergic constitution. So if you have sensitive skin in general, I would say, yeah. This is important. Anyone who is using an electronic device directly worn in the body, such as a cardiac pacemaker. Yeah, I would definitely not use this if you have a pacemaker. Anyone who is using electronic medical device for life retaining, such as artificial heart-lung machine. Anyone who is using a mounted electronic medical device, such as an ECG device. Anyone who is using a steroid-type hormone drug for a long time. I'm not sure what they mean by that, but perhaps they are talking about people who are on like prednisone and have skin atrophy. Speaking of which, they say anyone who has telangiectasias due to liver function disorder. Yes, people who have cirrhosis of the liver, they develop prominent telangiectasias, but I would say anybody who has a lot of telangiectasias. Along those lines, if you have rosacea, I would say pass on this. Anyone who is outpatient receiving treatment, that's kind of vague. Area where acne festering and inflamed. I would agree. I wouldn't use this on active acne. Dermatitis area caused by cosmetic product or anyone who has atopic dermatitis. If you have a contact dermatitis, seborrheic dermatitis, if you have atopic dermatitis, which I do and I used it, I wouldn't try this out because it's going to, in theory, aggravate the skin barrier, albeit temporarily, but you may not be able to handle that with your background skin problem. Freckle area accompanying itchiness, freckle caused by physical stimulation. I'm not sure what they mean by that. A part of the body that contains metals, plastics, silicone, etc. Hemophilia, heart disease, acute disease, hemorrhagic area, malignant tumor, fracture area, infectious disease, eyelid area, skull area, children, pregnant women, lactating women, and the elderly. Since the device is not a medical device, do not use for therapeutic purposes. So the wording here is a little vague, but basically if you have any underlying skin problem, probably don't want to use this. If you have underlying medical issues, clarify with your healthcare provider or just straight up don't use this. That's my experience using it. Let's talk about the jelly cream briefly. So the collagen jelly cream is interesting. It's really, really sticky. It like does not absorb immediately at all. It stays sticky. I used it with the device. I used it on its own. It's kind of interesting. It's got some good ingredients in it. It has niacinamide, hydrolyzed collagen, which is a humectant. It also has trehalose. It's got a pinkish color, and it has, probably giving it that pink color, cyanocobalamin, vitamin B12, which research shows is helpful for itch. It does have fragrance. I will say the fragrance is not too bad. It's not too strong. Didn't give me a headache. I didn't have any problem actually wearing this on my face with the fragrance, but fragrance is a common allergen in skincare products and it can be irritating. So using this and then trying to drive those fragrance ingredients further into the skin with this electroporation device, I have reservations about, even though I tried it. It's sticky, it's tacky. I didn't really find it to be amazing as far as a moisturizer. I think it's interesting. The texture may appeal to people. I didn't see a noticeable difference using the collagen jelly with or without the device. The device just adds on extra time in your routine, which is a reason for me to say, if I'm not seeing a difference, I'm not gonna add more time and labor to my skincare routine. Without more research on electroporation for enhancing transdermal delivery, I have reservations about this for a few reasons. Okay, so first of all, yes, you are creating those little microchannels to allow better penetration, but it can come with increased transepidermal water loss, more dryness, possibly more irritation as a result of just more water loss from the skin. So again, if you have atopic dermatitis, this could be even more of an issue for you. If you have acne, even more of an issue for you. And I also have reservations because they're kind of vague about what skincare products you can use with this. And most brands are not testing their products in this way. So what ingredients are safe to use with this device? What ingredients are not? We really don't have a clear answer to that. You know, some ingredients are working well in your stratum corneum to improve water content. Do they really need to be driven in? Are you asking for more problems doing that? I have reservations. If you have hyperpigmentation, which a lot of people use this device in an effort to improve the look of dark spots, and a lot of people claim that it's worked wonders. But if you're using a product with it, enhancing penetration, in theory, of certain ingredients, that increases the likelihood that they become irritating. And remember, with hyperpigmentation, anything that worsens irritation can worsen the hyperpigmentation. I also worry about the potential for this to reactivate herpes can give you a cold sore. So if you're prone to cold sores, I would be real careful with this. Lastly, the other thing I will say is the device itself, the construction, the materials, kind of is a little cheap. Like when I got it, I was like, really? I don't know what I was expecting, but it feels like something that a kid would play around with, like a child's toy. It feels really junky. Like the material is not super good quality. I have no idea how long it will last. And my last point is this is not cheap. It's like a couple $100. I paid over $200 for this thing, and I feel like I definitely did not get my money's worth. I'm skeptical regarding if it actually enhances penetration. I didn't see any noticeable change. Of all the times that I've used it, I didn't really see a noticeable difference. I didn't develop any sort of adverse effect from it. I do have concerns that it may end up being drying for some people and or worsen irritation and skin problems like hyperpigmentation. The quality of the device is lacking as far as the construction of the materials. I kind of think it's sort of one of those things that gets hyped up. People buy and maybe they like it in the beginning, but I think it's one of those things that's going to end up in a lot of people's drawers. And also, I'm not really buying that Hailey Bieber actually uses this thing. Maybe she does, but yeah, I really don't think it's worth it. And the jelly cream, while it wasn't horrible, it also wasn't fantastic. I saw on their website, they dropped the price of the jelly cream, the jelly. It's around 24 bucks now, I want to say. But even that seems a little steep for what it is because it just doesn't really leave the skin feeling super moisturized, even when paired with their Jazzy device. Let me know though, have you tried this device or any of the other devices from this company? If it wasn't obvious to you all, this is in no way, shape, or form sponsored. I bought this thing with my own money, so you don't have to. But if you guys enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.